Good morning. Well, this side of the world, as I'm trying to close something on my StreamYard here, and it doesn't want to listen to me, so that's fine. Who cares? Um, Good morning, everyone. We are earlier, and this should be usually the normal time. For me, you can see I'm sort of still waking up. For getting on the beach, I did actually have a little jog. I think my face is still waking up though. And we're going to be talking about sleep on this Better Tune In. So, I did a talk in the last week at a breakfast and talked about, and the talk is titled Connected. And when it comes to optimal health, you can't treat things in isolation. I discovered that I was fit, but I wasn't healthy about 4 years ago. And so started a new journey of my life and the passion I found in the area of wellness and being part of fixing some things that are broken or setting some things right that needed to be, my fun little word, decrappinated or DBS'd. And what I've learnt out of the three pillars, or what I call the three legs of the health stool, is that one of them is probably more important than all the others. So we're talking about the three legs being eating, moving, and sleeping. Guess which one is the most important? I'm hoping you guessed sleep, because that is the correct answer. Sleep. The time when you do nothing, when you're unconscious. And I know in the Corporate Alchemist project, we have a lot of execs, and for them it's like a hero thing to be able to get by on the least sleep with the most alcohol and, hustle and grind it through being a hero. Well, it's a great way to get to zero. So let's break down sleep. And this is where the upside is. The biggest upside is in getting your sleep right. So, some people will also think they're a hero by saying, wow, I'm getting like 8-9 hours sleep. Like everything, there's a sweet spot. Same with nutrition, same with exercise, and it is individual, right? And a lot of it's based around circadian rhythms or your chronobiology. And so the timing of when you go to sleep and the timing of when you wake up is different from a lot of other people. And we can categorize this and do it actually pretty easily. And that's through the science study of chronobiology, but using anthropometry, so measuring your human, anthropos, Greek, chronos, Greek. Sorry, I just had to put that plug in for my heritage race. Although I did find out, if you remember in one of the previous episodes, that I'm actually 50% Greek, 3% Turkish, 47% Italian. So there was some hanky-panky back in the gladiatorial days, it seems, in the bloodline. Anyway, I'm digressing. So sleep, the amount is genetically specific, and when you go to sleep, when you wake up, is genetically specific. And if you want to epigenetically, in other words, above your genes, create an environment that gets your cells to be able to optimize, you want to be going to sleep at the right time, getting up at the right time. And it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So what do we mean by quality? So you've got to break it down like this. I know there are lots of devices, and a lot of them are bullshit, out there that measure your RAM, your deep, and your life. I got to say, the best device I've come across, and I know it's been also clinically tested, and it's kind of like the de facto for the biohackers, is the aura ring, right? That's got to be, so if we're talking this, the aura ring's all about recovery. And that's what I'm talking about here is recovery. And you do most of that when you're asleep. So it is the most important out of the eating and the moving, okay? You still need those others because if you don't have them, the stool's going to fall over. But the leg that you want to make sure you get right is sleep. Now, let's break down the numbers for the analytical types out there, of which I'm one. So in measuring, like for me and my health type, because I've done the analysis, as I said, you don't have to get any fluid tests for this. You can actually just measure up using a measuring tape, believe it or not. And if you want to find out how, just message me either on Facebook or LinkedIn, Tommy Gallant, 1L, and I'll send you a link on how to do that. So you need to have around 25 to 30% of deep sleep, and that's when all the detox is happening, right? It's when it's all the cleaning up the factory after a big day at work, and it's sleep you have in the first half of the evening, the first half of your sleep, I should say. The second half of your sleep is where most of your REM happens. And in fact, most of that happens probably in the last 25% of your sleep. Now, which one of those is more important? You might think it's actually the deep sleep, when you're cleaning out, getting rid of all the toxins out of the brain, and all the fluids coming in, giving your brain a wash. And you're getting the factory ready for the next day, right, of work and doing stuff and creating. No, science says it's actually the REM sleep. Now I've crushed my deep sleep, and I was thinking I'm a bit of a hero for that. The one I've tended to struggle with, and that is a continual hack for me, is my REM, although I'm getting close to cracking it. Here's why. Because with deep, to start off with, if you want to hack that, exercise is important, as is temperature, sleeping. You can get a thing called chili bed. It'll lower the temperature, but you get your deep sleep when the body temperature drops. And I need to tell one of my clients that because I recently learned that one. I knew about the exercise. And if you're watching this, you know who you are. The other one, REM sleep, the one that I've tended to struggle with, is where, and I thought it was until recent findings, where most of the learning, consolidation, and memory happens. And that's what you read quite often. But that actually happens in what they would call the junk sleep. The non-REM light sleep is where the learning and consolidation happens. REM sleep is where a lot of the emotional and mental stuff gets sorted out. So if you've got too much emotional mental stuff going on, your REM might be also a little compromised, as well as, here's the key thing in hacking REM, right? Well, one of them is when you're going to sleep, or you're getting closer to bedtime, of course, eating earlier because you don't want your heart rate being up, and also blue light. You either wear blue light blockers, don't use LED lighting. It's really shocking for the system. There's a lot of blue light coming out of that. Sort of halogen or incandescent lights are the best. And just easing in or getting the dimmer switch on to ease into the night. Make sure your melatonin production starts to crank up, because that's what's going to keep you down into a nice sleepy state. And then you're either wearing, covering your eyes with a eye cover, I forgot what they call them, the ones we wear on airplanes, or just darken the whole room to keep you asleep. So that last 25% where most of your REM's going to happen, like 70, 80% of it, when you've got the dream action happening, that is going to be all about being consistent about the time that you wake up. Because your body learns where it's going to pack that REM in. It says, oh, he usually or she usually gets up at around that time, right? So because we do most of our REM and the last bit of our sleep, we know he's going to be sleeping until that particular time, about this particular period, and so we're packing it in there. Now, if you're getting up early thinking you're a hero, getting into those emails, and getting all that stuff done and getting an early start to your day, you could be killing off your REM sleep. Not cool. Because from a mortality point of view, REM is the most important. So it's the one that I focus on to get right. And more so since I've learned this. REM sleep. Getting up at the right time for you chronobiologically. So for me, if I go to sleep by 10, up by 5, I've kind of nailed it, right? So I'm waking up around 5:30. And that makes sure that I get my REM in. But doing that consistently. This is all about consistency, like everything in life. There's a rhythm to life, right? Circadian rhythm. It's so important. People underestimate just how important it is. And, Hippocrates said it's, all these little sins that we do to our, what I call kebab or gyros, because you've got, meat, you've got tzatziki flowing through it, and you've got a wrapper around the thing. So better than a meat soup. I think it's more like a kebab or gyros. Since we're talking about Greeks, let's make it gyros. But that last 25%, you want to get nailed, right? To get the REM right, because there are a lot of mortality studies, and if you want to have the best elixir of life for curing, staving off chronic disease, get your sleep right. And stop creating the challenges in the shit food that you're eating, and make sure that you are putting some healthy tension on your body to keep it producing all the right healthy stem cells. Because if you don't use it, you'll lose it in exercise. That's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little episode that was content-packed on one of the best things you can do for leading a longer, healthy, more optimized, enriched life. This is Tommy Chi, Biotech Exec. So if you're wanting to learn more, or if you want to get an executive lifestyle assessment, free of charge, go to biotechexec.net. You'll see that here in my name. And do the executive lifestyle assessment. That will ping an email to me once you're complete. And then we can catch up. We can schedule for a mutually convenient time to get together for 20 to 30 minutes and discuss a health optimization strategy for you to live a life of being able to have sustainable peak performance states, getting your body into a state of homeostatic flow, which creates bioharmony. Would you like that? Okay, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a great morning, evening, whatever you're doing. Most of all, have a great sleep. Bye.